Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, and where it's being caught. We're also going to cover your future marine forecasts, your moon phase, and your tide charts. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the bite. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some exciting offshore fish, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Army. Try that one. All right, folks, welcome to the show. Let's get right into this. Cold front happened Monday. We got another reinforcing one sometime this weekend. They're not sure. It might push through Friday. It might hold off and be stalled till Sunday. So yeah, and remember, behind the front is when the wind comes. Over the next couple of days, probably got some doable weather for those of you folks that are during the week. So let's get into this. We're going to start off with Al Green up north and on to the west. He is still pounding out these stone crabs. Love me some stone crabs. I wish people had not robbed my traps a few years back, but they did, and it's very expensive. So, hey, he's still getting in there and pulling them out of the water and, emptying Publix with the butter. There we go. All right, next one, Marlo Kennedy, Aleva. Still hitting up the skinny water queen. Going out there, sometimes freshwater, sometimes saltwater. Here we got a nice, this is snook. Looks like I'm not sure if it's brackish water or not, but when you see the darker stuff, that they kind of look like the water that they come from. So they're cleaner snooker out in the ocean. These guys are a little darker. They're in the, the murkier water and stuff like that. Anyway, Marlo, thank you very much for always contributing and being a part of our show. Yeah, that's pretty much our inshore stuff. Crabs and small snooks. Not much going on the, actually, the bluefish, I'm seeing quite a few bluefish still being caught actually off the Boynton Inlet, some big ones too. So yeah, if you're out there, and then if your shallow water stuff, your blue runners, they're there. The Spanish mackerel, the Spanish mackerel and the blue runners, if you can find them, you pick them up. Hey, cool. If not, you always got your jacks, your blue runners, barracudas, all that goodness in close. All right, let's start doing some pelagic stuff, right? I'm going to start off with Mr. Sean. This guy likes to go out on his jet ski and go for swordfish. Okay. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm totally ignoring you. How you doing, Paul? Thanks for showing up and saying hi. Yes, on a jet ski going for swordfish. So, we're taking the fishing game next level. So, yeah, Sean, I'm waiting for it. One day it's going to happen. All right. He's beast mode. I don't know too many people that go, oh man, I lost my spot. Foolishness. I hit the wrong X. We'll go back to it. We don't need to see everything. Look at that. Yeah, I hit the wrong thing. There we are. Okay. Sorry for that. Let's start looking at for some pelagics. We got Tony out of Port Canaveral. Nice sailfish. They look like they're having a boatload of fun. Me, I'm not one for pulling sailfish out the boat, but hey, you got to get a picture. You got to get a picture. Remember, you can keep them if you get that HMS permit. There we go. Appreciate what you do, man. Thank you. Thank you. I'm having a kind of weird day, so I appreciate the compliment. Makes me feel better. Makes my day go on forward. Thank you. Yes, sailfish. Martini Tower, 220, pink and white sea witch on the number 4 planer. No other bites. Went home at 8:30. I mean, when you got a 5-foot wahoo in your hand, you're done by 8 o'clock. All right, awesome catch. And this, I'm sorry, this is Doug. You just said so. Hey, the Martini Tower, awesome catch, solid. There we go, Mike up in Port St. Lucie. Couple nice gaffers. He said he ended up with a handful of gaffers and one flipper trolling, and they got another picture in here somewhere where he's got some nice tuna. So yeah, hey, they went out and they found the dolphin. So like I said, folks, the dolphin are still here. You just got to go hunt them down. They're not going to run and bite your hooks just because you say, here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Okay, got my second ever sailfish. This is John. Got my second ever sailfish with Captain Mike. Can I tell you how many Captain Mikes there are in South Florida? Haven't had my butt whooped by a fish like that since June. Yeah, sailfish will do it to you, especially if you get them on a spinner. Got them on a blue runner on the kite. Long, crazy fight. Got them boat side, about 30 pounds or so. All right, cool. That's an honest person, not saying 100-pound sailfish. I like that. 30 pounds. Hey, that's a solid fish. Definitely. Good job, John. Congrats. All right, we got Ari trolling around 300 feet, 7 a.m. on Sunday out of Haulover. Again, a couple of mahi, big jacks, and then some yellowtails on the reef. So, hey, you know, again, like I said, folks, the mahi are around. So if you want to get out there and, you know, take your chances, good to go. All right, John, same John as the sailfish. Got a nice grouper. What do we got here? That's black grouper. My birthday was on Thanksgiving, so I went and my birthday charter with Captain Mike again. Got my first black grouper. Hey, I called it, right? I can show you the difference between blacks and gags. They're real easy. Got my first black grouper. Was 60 pounds on the 6 pounds. I was 60, that fish. 6 pounds on the lip gripper, but wasn't a keeper. Yeah, hey, you know, let them grow a little bit. Let them grow. Good job. Anyway, sounds like you had a great birthday trip. And happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. There we go. Another John. We're seeing wahoo all over the place, folks. It's awesome. Saturday, 9 a.m., Lake Worth. Buck 97, 38 pounds on the scale. Split tail mullet, as you can see right here. It didn't even really do much damage to that bait. Hit it right at the very back, it looks like. Hey, yeah, split tail mullet is a great bait, folks, for trolling for wahoo, by the way. Yes. All right, John, congratulations. Nice fish. Here we go. Todd Prince out on a charter, putting in a wahoo on the kite. Like I said, folks, we were a couple days out from this full moon, right? The wahoo showed up. So perfect. I mean, you can't. Were we at a full moon? Let me see. Where were we? Yeah, I think we were. Yeah. We just passed the full moon this past weekend. So, man, I mean, hey, can't complain about that. All right, let's keep going on. We got Mike. Here he is. These are his. I mean, those are solid, almost 30-inch black fins. I'm sorry. Look, you can look here on the little ruler. He's almost at 28, and he's off that side. That meant Mike got some solid ones. And it looks like there's a dredge there with a teaser and stuff. So, yes, sirree. All right. Todd out on the charter. Again, wahoo. And they said they got this one. This is another black grouper on the planer. You got to love it when you're trolling on a planer and you come up with a solid grouper. Hey, yes. You didn't have to go find a hole or nothing. He presented himself to you. Awesome. Grouper. Richard says he couldn't fish, but he watched the video. Okay, hey, cool, man. You didn't make it out Sunday night. We got you something to do at 5 o'clock. Ray, Saturday off Key Biscayne, the kingfish bite with live pilchards. He was dead. Okay. Caught some rainbow runners for dinner. I mean, hey, he's got half a dozen rainbow runners right here. That's great. I'm lucky if I get one. Man, he got dialed in on them and pulled them all in, went home. Ray, congrats and thanks for, keeping us in the know. Definitely. So you see, Ray. Oh, here we go to Best of Boynton. Captain Jim. 30-minute trip with his wife. Little weehoo on pink and white. Everybody's got that pink and white going on a number 4, 180 out of Boynton. So yes, told you folks, the wahoo were doing their thing this weekend. They definitely did not disappoint with that full moon. So let's see if we got anybody else that we're missing. Lots of dolphins, sailfish, more sailfish, and that's about it, folks. So yeah, the dolphin, the wahoo, kingfish bite. Hey. Oh, hey, Pedro, how you doing? Thanks for showing up and saying hi. I'm focused over here, not over here. if you ever saw my screen, you might see the madness and go, darn, I'm missing out. All right. Thank you, Pedro. All right. So let's continue with our weather, right, folks? Like I said, we just had a cold front pass. Now we're going to have another, like, sort of, the hell? Oh, I had to shut that page off before I share another one with you. All right. Here we go. We're going to go for windy, right, folks? All right, so we're going to use a couple of websites to look at our weather forecasting. Always when I can, always. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like I was saying, about a bumpy day, to say the least. But, hey, it is what it is, right? Could always be worse. Okay. Windy. We're going to use a couple of websites. All these websites are in the description if you're new to the show. Down here, how to use windy, you can click and point and it'll tell you exactly what you're looking at. Wind speed, direction, wave heights, rain accumulation, whatever. Down on the corner, you also have a sort of litmus strip that gives you color-coded images of what color you're looking at that correlates to wind speed, wave heights, whatnot. Okay. And again, these websites are both available for apps on your phones, or you can do it on PC. They're not available on TV just yet. All right, anyway, windy, right? Okay, so let's check it out. This is right now, so we got to look at tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we're looking at 14 knots from the northwest. So you have northwest wind, which might mean it's going to lay it down a little bit. Hopefully we'll get that swell coming in, and it'll be good. It'll hold off a little bit for the weekend. Like I said, we're supposed to have a sort of a bumpy day go fishing. I was this close. Well, actually, it's funny. Instead of going fishing, we shot guns today. That's, if you want to know. And yes, that was one of those. Yes, 1911 and a Sig Sauer, and yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. Tomorrow afternoon, 12 knots northwest, up and down the coast. The Keys are looking, they're going to be getting it from the north, so change, but they will be like leeward side, so their waves will be going away from the land. But the further you get into the Florida Straits, a little bit more challenging it becomes. Keys is like a totally different area than the Tri-County area, and the same thing with Florida, where the further up you go, you don't get that sharp reef. County area is almost like one of the similar to Caribbean islands. Not that sharp of a drop off, but we definitely have a sharper ledge, which works for our favor, so we don't have to go 18 miles out to get in 4 feet of water like you do on the West Coast. I have been seeing the West Coast Skyway Pier guys tearing it up. Kingfisher showing up right on time. Very good. Friday, wind looks like it switches direction, coming in from the northeast, 7 knots. Down in the Keys, 10 knots from the northeast, same direction. Not too bad. We'll check out and see what this is actually going to do to our due to the I'm not really sure here. Like I said, the only heads up that I have for you is that there's supposed to be a reinforcing cold front later this week, but there's really no solid. As we get towards the next couple of days, you'll see here in the forecast is going to be all over the place. So Friday afternoon, Tri-County area, 7 knots from the east, a little bit further up north towards Vero, Port St. Lucie area, 3 knots. So they're getting a break from the wind, but whether or not it'll do anything is to be seen. West Coast looking very good. Down, Everglades National Park looking a little breezy Friday afternoon. Heading into Saturday, and not much changes. It's going to be, so once we get this east wind kicking in, our seas are going to pick up. And like I said, there's supposed to be a front sometime. And I've heard, like I said, Sunday, I've seen Friday. I don't know. They can't tell. Further up north we go, 7 knots, 10 knots on the east. So not too bad, not completely unbearable, but, a little windy. A little breezy. All right, that's Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, wind picks up 12 knots from the east. So we go from 10, a little bit of a change, but not too much, not too bad. If you're already out there enjoying the breeze. Come Sunday morning, we've got 4 knots from the north. So something looks like something's going to happen in the middle of the night, obviously here, and the winds are going to die down. That will not change anything with your oceans that short amount of time. Might lay down a little bit, but I doubt it. And here Sunday, so it looks like they're saying Sunday. Here's our front. Okay, so there's our reinforcing front. Wendy's saying Sunday it's going to come. There we have it. All right, Monday. So the front's going to come in and pass through sort of as night falls, right? And obviously after that we have lots of wind coming from the northeast. So Monday is cold front day, and then it'll probably cool down a little bit on Tuesday. Not much, but we'll see what happens. Coming on Tuesday, looking at 17 knots. Yeah, and the same thing. Look at that, 20 something, 20 plus. So yeah, so Sunday we're looking at that cold front pushing on through. It's not really going to make us cold or cool or anything, but we're going to get a bunch of wind from it. So that's what we're looking at right there. All right, so now let's go on ahead and check out our wave heights, right, and see what's going on. So right now we got look like you got 5 foot. Yeah, the weather doesn't, that cold front just passed, right? So we've probably got some swells somewhere. They're saying 5 foot at 8 seconds, so it's kind of swelly, but it's still all depends. Once you get out into the stream, as you can see, you've got a confused sea, and the stream will appear very visible. The line of demarcation, you can go out into it where there's sword fishing, but it's you will notice it'll be considerably more bumpy out in the stream than it is on the the continental shelf side of it. So that's what we're looking at. 5 foot, 8 seconds, not much. The further south you go, the period closes in. So 4 foot. So a 5 second period is that's waves, and that's bumpy out there. So yeah. 2 foot at 6 seconds. So as we go further along in the day, the water down in the Keys tends to be a little bit more tamer than it is up in the Tri-County area, staying at 4 foot at 7 seconds. So tomorrow's, fairly wavy out there, wavy gravy. Friday wants to die down a little bit, 3 foot at 6 seconds up north, or should I say in the middle of the state? That's not really up north. 3 foot 6 seconds. Sean, there he goes. How we doing? We were talking about you and your sword fishing expedition on your jet ski. So yeah, crazy. We're waiting for gently. 3 foot 6 seconds. So not too bad. Friday morning, not dead flat. 2 foot at 5 seconds as the afternoon. So it'll lay down a little bit, probably into Saturday. Or the cold front might get a little bit of that calm before the storm action going. Marco Island, all that stuff looks flat. It looks like, of course it is. It's the beach and the sand. There can't be waves. Up north a little bit, Jupiter Stewart area, 2 foot 6 seconds tomorrow, Friday afternoon. So let's look at Saturday, right? Saturday's looking like the best of our future outlook. Just bought an 80 for my next swordfish. Oh God. Found a, oh my, good luck. Yes. Hey, more power to you. I hope you get one. I just hope that you can bring it home when you get it. And it's not like this massive 300-pound fish that you have battled and get to the boat. And then you're like, oh Lord, what did I get myself into? But I applaud your audacity. You are the beast of South Florida. All right. Saturday afternoon, same stuff, right? So Saturday, like I said, Saturday's looking like the most doable day, especially for the folks with the smaller vessels out of everything we got coming at us, over the next week. Okay. And as you'll see, Sunday, It's in the morning. Cool. We're going to be good. So, okay. And then as night falls, that wind's going to start. And we'll see. I'll be on VHF channel 10. Hopefully someone reads. You better go to 16, buddy, man. You're all by yourself out there on 10, especially way the hell out there. I like that, though. Secrecy is a little good stuff. So Sunday, okay. Saturday and Sunday. According to this, I'd watch it Sunday as that front's starting to come through. Weather's going to deteriorate horribly real quick. So, if the morning time won't be bad. So that's good to know. That's good to know that you're on 10. Are you always on 10? Because if you are, I'll try yelling at you periodically, even though you might not hear me. Oh boy, and there's Monday. So we got, of course, all the water moves Monday, and then it's just going to be horrible. So after that, we got the cold front, and it'll take a few days for it to die down. Hopefully heading into next weekend, somewhat tamer. So again, Saturday is the doable one, looking not bad. Sunday in the morning before the front starts to push through, looks like there is some opportunity there. 10 is commercial. That's where all the swordfish guys said to be. But I'm always on 16 most of the time. Yeah, 16 is the one. That's where if you're ever in trouble, that's Coast Guard. But 10, that's good to know about that. Okay, cool. Thank you. Well, I'll hit them all up, and I'll just yell for Sean. All righty. Okay. Yeah, wave heights are horrible. Let's look at rain. So right now we're in a dry spell again, folks. Hey, there he is, the best of Boynton, folks, Captain Jim. You know what? I didn't even mention it earlier, but if you need I was just so excited to see all the Wahoo in the feed. If you need a charter captain out of Boynton, hit Captain Jim up. He's got 4J's charters. He's got his own line of jigs, and he's got, the proof is in the pudding. I can go through and, we can make this show a couple of hours long showing you all the fish he catches, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to tell you how great he is. And if you need a captain out of Boynton, hit him up. Captain Jim, 4J's charters. If you can't get a hold of him, yell at me, and we'll get you. We'll get you in touch with him. Great guy, great captain, and lately the magazines love him. So, hey, there we go. All right. Thanks, Jim. I gotta say, I was having a weird day. Anyway, all right. Dry tomorrow morning, dry. Tomorrow afternoon, dry. Friday, dry. Friday afternoon, dry. Like I said, in front of these cold fronts, there's not much. We might get some with the cold front Sunday. So here's Saturday. It's all that the high pressure is keeping all of the everything. No, thank you. There we go. So I guess Sunday, Sunday will be fine. Just Sunday's gonna be all right. I just watch out because that front's coming. So just over the next couple of days. And the good thing about it is the lull in the weather between Saturday night and Sunday will make the ocean even more pleasant to be out on. So you can go out and try and get your swordfish. Okay. So this is Saturday morning again, or that's Saturday afternoon. Sunday. Here comes the weather in front of the thing, right, Sean? So you might want to it'll probably be cloudy. You're not so much rainy until the front actually passes later in the day. So that's actually you can see they're expecting the weather part of the front to pass through. That's it right there. Well, this is the actual front. So they're expecting the moisture to be in front of it, being pushed by the front. So you won't have much activity with that. This is Sunday afternoon. So just, there'll be some moisture in the sky. So going sword fishing is probably going to be your best bet. Yeah. Monday, again, a little bit more of the moisture showing up after the front has passed and our wind starts picking up. All right. Now let's click off that one. Let's go on to WindFinder. and see if we can see what we can take from this. So WindFinder is basically the numeric version of Windy. Now they're just forecasting system, but I tend to go with this one over Windy. Okay, tomorrow they're saying northwest winds, and sometimes they jive, sometimes they don't. You got to sort of decipher what it is. So we got wind, not very gusty, but mid double digits, lowering down. We've got our swell. So it is a swell tomorrow. So if you're going to get out there, right, we're looking at 4 foot, 10-second period. So we've got that swell heading from the northeast right now, which is probably going to shift as the days go on. And we got that front coming back by. Right. So Friday wind shifts to the east, like we saw. Mid to upper single digits on both days, not real bad. And our swell diminishes as we head through Saturday, right? So we go from 8-second period down to 5 seconds, with our wave heights diminishing from 3 to 2. So, like I said, Saturday's looking fairly doable. We have waves that are, coming from the east at 7-second period. So it'll be fairly nice out there. Sunday is the day. So here they're saying, so this is in a little bit of a disagreement with what we had seen, at least when it comes to wave heights. Wind-wise, it agrees with what Windy was showing. We've got low wind levels picking up as night comes in, and then the front, and then your ocean gets really angry, and we've got wave heights that are, unrealistic for any vessel to be out in, unless you're, that is what you do. So Sunday, right? And then Monday, pack it up, stay dry. All right, let's take a look at our moon phase. Like we know, we just passed our last moon of the year. So now we are waning, right? So when you talk about moon phases, waning is heading towards the dark side of the moon, waxing is heading towards the full moon. So right now we're waning. Today, we're at 62%. Tomorrow, Thursday, 52%. Friday, 41%. Saturday, 32%. Sunday, 24%. Monday, 16%. So, here as we head into Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at this, which I always think that when you have less moonlight at night, your fish don't feed as viciously, so they're more hungry during the day. They're still trying to replenish the energy. When you have a well-lit sky at night, fish tend to ambush prey more often than not. So the bite can be a little slow. Now, you can't hold this as, it's just a thought process that I have. Everybody's got their own way of thinking about it. I tend to think fish feed better, excluding mackerel. Mackerel, I believe, is a moon bite, especially the wahoo, as we saw with this last weekend. So I predict the fishing, should you be able to get out, the bite should be a little bit more productive this coming week because of the absence of a moon. And don't forget, the absence of a moon means your bait guys are going to be out there too, doing their thing. All right, let's look at our tides and see what's going on with the tide charts, right? Will the tide chart, will the tide be on your side? You remember, the outgoing tide is a valuable tool also. That's why the bite was terrible Sunday. Yes. For the polite, remember that moon really is it's a mackerel thing, a wahoo thing, especially. Sometimes even the king bite's non-existent, but I've always found that the mackerels in general tend to follow a moon phase, but everything else, it's rough because they're feeding all night. So, all right. Tide charts. Tomorrow, we're right at the slack tide as your sun's rising. Now, remember, tide's very important. You need the outgoing tide at the proper time of day, which would be sunrise and sunset. That outgoing tide is what you need, folks. If you don't have an outgoing tide, there he is, Mr. Jim, in agreement. Hey, listen. Yes. And that's coming from someone who makes a living on the water. Okay. outgoing tide, folks. When you're fishing in an inlet, you got to have that outgoing tide or you're going to catch nothing, right? Outgoing tide pushes out all the microorganisms, phytoplankton, junk in the water. One of the most important aspects is it pushes the chlorophyll out too. Fish go to feed where all that stuff is. The little fish go to feed on all that. And remember, the chlorophyll is very important. If you can ever get an active tracking map, you will have to pay for it. That tracks where your chlorophyll is in the ocean along the coast. Your fishing game will only excel exponentially. Trust me, you got to be able to track chlorophyll. But then you're going to hate yourself for how much fish you're catching. Anyway, outgoing tide, folks. It's a rule. It's not a suggestion. So we have our outgoing tide at both, appropriate times of day, as the sun's rising, as the sun's setting. Outgoing tide all throughout the weekend. So you should be good to go. You just get out there, start rolling. Now, if you're trolling for, let's say, your mackerels or your reef predators, yeah, you can troll right in front of it. Watch where your water flow is. Sometimes, if it's early into the tide cycle, it'll be in too close, but you get out there. Remember, fish aren't right where the action of that water and that wash machine effect is. They're all around it. All right, so that's our tides, folks, right? And as we head into next week, we will have that. So probably next week and next weekend, we won't have this tide cycle on our side. But this goes for everybody, especially the folks that are standing on the jetties fishing. You've got to have that outgoing tide. If you've got an incoming tide, just look at boats. All right, that about does it for that one. Okay, folks, that about does it for this show. Before we head out, if you are in the market for some fishing apparel, right? Check out our sponsor, WindRider. They got the South Florida Saltwater Fishing shirts. These are those UPF 50 shirts. There's Pedro. Same with Thursday, and I thought it was... Hey, yeah. No bite. Darn. I was going to ask you. I didn't get around to it. Yeah. I the last time I went out, nothing. I was going to go out Sunday, but I was busy and didn't get to it. So I just sat here and watched everybody else catch fish and take pictures. But yeah, it's a rough bite, folks. When that moon is full moon, it literally everything is feeding. So just, No, I got to go visit I'm not going out this weekend again. I'm going to have some, it's a video. My footage is winding down. Yeah, I got to go to Orlando. Going to go visit my daughter. To be honest, I didn't really work for it. Yeah, hey, listen, it is what it is. Leave the fish alone for a little bit. I wish I was going out this weekend. You're going to go out and you're going to catch a swordfish from your jet ski. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Anyway, folks, UPF 50 shirts, right? The one you don't need sunscreen. They got hoods, they got gaiters, anything. Go check it out. Links in the description. I'm not going to go on too much about it. And before we head out, right, folks, last thing. If you're on Facebook, go on ahead. Go ask to join the Facebook group. Not a page, not a YouTube page, nothing. Facebook group, South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Looks like this without the date. It's actually up here. You got to answer a couple questions to join. It's a private group. What's your favorite fish? Are you going to follow the rules? The rules are simple. Don't sell stuff like this guy. Don't post your videos. None of that. We support everybody. I support everyone. I'm not trying to hide anyone from anything from anyone, but just keep it as a group. That way we don't end up in sometime in the future as the page grows, hopefully, where it's so watered down by nonsense. So that's all I ask. Anyway, folks, all right, that about does it. We're getting out of here. Hope you had fun. Hope everyone gets out there. Sean, get out there and get her done. And YouTube page, I know you're itching. And Jim and everyone, have fun, be safe. Like I said, we got a couple of days, not much looking at us. So, hey, Enjoy it while you can, and if you can get out there. Till then, we'll see you next Wednesday. South Florida saltwater fishing, going wherever the cool wind takes us.